right, it seems it's live, which is great. All right, I wanted to make this video before the new year because I've been wanting to start the new year off doing some live stream and stuff, but I don't want to procrastinate and wait for the perfect time. Right, I don't want to procrastinate and wait for the perfect time, so I'm just going to make this video as I'll spot something in the chart, and I won't make this a long live stream. All right, you guys are here for the Bitcoin prediction for the next few days into the New Year's, and that is what I am going to do in this video. So hope you guys find value from it. Let's go to a new chart. Typically though, I like to use the Binance chart because the Binance chart has the most volume. This is just like what I have marked up here already. So starting from the monthly time frame, this is the Bitcoin chart. Right? I'm starting from the monthly time frame to give you a long-term perspective. As you can see, the higher time frame is in an uptrend, right? However, this monthly candle that closed today a few hours ago closed in a bearish pin bar on the monthly time frame. It's quite a big top wick rejection all the way from 108,500, it seems, roughly back to 96,000. So you could say from 97,000 and upwards, there's a lot of selling pressure that came in enough to close this previous monthly candle bearish. And if you look down at the volume graph here, you can see that the volume is increasing and it's a bearish volume. So the volume increased when we broke out here, and this shows that there's a lot of money traded this month. However, we closed bearish, so I would say there's more selling pressure than buying pressure, hence this bearish monthly candle. All right, and usually if you see that after the market makes a higher high, once we break past this 74k and start push up, it usually signifies or signal a potential reversal correction, or I should say a potential correction, which could in turn turn into a reversal, but correction at first. And if this is the new higher high for Bitcoin, it's going to need a higher low to sustain the move. So a pullback would be a very logical expectation going into the new year, and this is the monthly time frame. Now, where would the market pull back to? Just looking at the structure to the left, the closest area that we see is back at 74,000, which is quite a ways away. It is roughly minus 34% from the all-time high. Let's see, it's roughly minus 32% from the all-time high. So it's quite a big correction, but this is not uncommon to see in bull run. If we go back to like long-term chart, this is a Bitcoin chart. This was the last time, the last bull run, and you can see when we had the first correction, the first bearish monthly candle, how far it retraced to. So this one here retraced all the way down here to 27%. You can see from the top here, it then eventually came back close in a doji, and this other monthly candle retraced way more, right? Retraced like 52%, and then it topped out, and then we had a bear market. Now this is quite early to see a monthly candle just coming in right after we pretty much break the previous all-time high around 69,000. You see we consolidated quite a bit and then we broke out. So last time when we did that, when we broke out of this previous all-time high right here, you can see that we had a significantly run up. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pretty much you could say 6 months of consistent upward impulsive movement in terms of the price action. It was a really big breakout, but before we had any bearish momentum coming in. And now with only 1, 2, 3 months, you could say, after we break this high, we're starting to see a bearish momentum coming in on the monthly time frame, and that is concerning. That is like shorter than usual, and it's concerning. So maybe we're gonna have an extremely big bull run, so we need to correct early to sustain the move. I don't know, but usually when you see this though, the market is likely to correct, and this is the nearest structure. So let's go back to the previous chart, Binance chart. This is the nearest structure for price to come back to. So I told my private group that potentially take some profit, be aware that we could have a big significantly pullback. Now let's go down to the weekly time frame and analyze a bit more. We can see from the weekly time frame here the market push up significantly. So the weekly high or low, you could use this point here as the weekly high or low, or here you could use this point, and I would say this is the weekly higher high. So this is like the low point and this is the high point. So it's quite a distance away from the low point. It's a very far away. And if you were to use this one candle here, then that would mean that the trend is bearish, right? So hold on, let me get rid of this. So on the weekly time frame, you can see, just looking at the price action, it has run up quite a bit, and then this big engulfing candle came, engulfing the last 3 weeks. And if you look at the volume, there was again increased volume, a lot of volume within this week, and closed red. So that's a lot of bearish selling came in, engulfed 3 candles. So that's usually when the market is going to correct, it's going to do a big move. You see the volume increase like that, and the sign is there, right? And since then, the next week after, we had the price push back up, trying to break back below this support here, and it got rejected. You see this big wick rejection, it got rejected, right? It got rejected. We came down, and it seems like we've been finding a little bit of support around here, judging by the wicks. And then again, within this week, we went up in this area, and we're starting to get some rejection again. So now we're going to look at the data a little bit closer. So going to the daily time frame, you can see now the daily time frame is in fact bearish. So this here is the last going up. Let's just track it from here. This is the last higher low, and then up here is a higher high, and then this higher low got taken out. This becomes a lower high potentially, and this is a lower low, and this lower low got taken out. So now this is the lower high, right? So here is the lower high point of this move. Right, and down here, since we broke the high, is the daily low, is the lower low. So I'll just mark it out as daily low, but it's the lower low. But I was looking at the price action even closer, since price broke below the support, and it's like two days it broke below the support. Looking at this more as the new lower high, because this previous support here could flip as resistance. So I'm looking at this as the lower high. I definitely don't want to see price break back above here if we're looking at a bearish scenario. If it break back above here, then that's a bullish scenario for a correction back into possibly up into this area before we maybe push down, if it's that the market is going to push down, considering that this is the lower high. Because once we break above this lower high, we're going back into uptrend territory. But for me, once we break above this resistance here actually, then that could mean we could see higher prices. So for now, I'm looking at the range between this lower high here and this lower low. So this is where I'm looking to trade for the next few days. So if you mark off this level, I'm looking at this previous support area right here that could potentially act as resistance, right? So I'm looking at this support right there, and I'm also looking at this one here, and we see these wicks to the left. and this is basically these two levels between the resistance here. So pretty much these three areas, so between here, here, and these 3 points are the areas that I'm looking at for the next few days, right? So I don't want, if I'm anticipating price is going to go down, I'm actually in a short trade, I don't want to see price breaking past these levels to go back up, because then if that happens, then that means that the potential we're going to have a bigger correction upwards. If we go down to the 4-hour time frame now, just based on the market structure alone, you could see the market's been trending down, and we could use a trend line to help guide the move, right? You see point A